Hello, this is Dandoozi, your cozy corner for hobbies like Legos, Pokemon, collectibles, and whatever else I'm up to. Today I'm opening a new Chaos Rising 3-pack. This one has a Charmeleon as a promo card. So these are the brand new Chaos Rising packs. Got 3 of them in here. And I'm really excited to break them open, see what we can find. All right, let's do this. All right, we'll start with the Charmeleon promo card. Cool artwork there. Just doing his usual fire breathing thing. Alrighty. Let's start with, I'm going to start with the Mega Evolution Dragalage here. Alright, again, this is Chaos Rising. Water Energy. Gumi. And you can see Prism Tower there in the background from Z to A Legends. Dawn Fan. Wow, smashing headbutt for 180 damage. But you're going to have to discard 2 energy from this Pokemon. No Reprieve does 20 damage. During your next turn, attacks used by this Pokemon do 120 more damage to your opponent's active Pokemon. So if you use No Reprieve, your next attack's going to do 140 if you use that one again. Or you could use Smashing Headbutt and do, what, 320 damage? Jeez. That's an EX Destroyer. Wow. Phantom. Right, again, a Z to A artwork. You can see Prism Tower there. I don't want to give anything away, but there's something going on in the Prism Tower in this artwork. Let's see, Spiteful Evolution is its ability. Once during your turn, you may use this ability. Choose a card from your hand that evolves from this Pokemon and put it onto this Pokemon to evolve it. If you do, place 2 damage counters on the Pokemon you evolved in this way. Okay, so a little bit of a setback is that you have to put 2 damage counters, but hopefully it's worth it to evolve right away. And you don't have to do that. You can evolve it the normal way. Trubbish. More Z to A artwork. Come on. Trubbish is hanging out in front of the Pokemon Center and the mall, it looks like, in Z to A. Delibird. I have a theory for Z to A in that the Delibirds are the ones that are dropping things all over the place in the city. Because you sometimes find them randomly on rooftops, kind of out of place, because there's one zone that is an ice zone. But I think Delibirds are the reason there's little treasures to be found all over the city. I think it makes sense. Special Red Card is an item. Let's see, you can use this card only if your opponent has 3 or fewer prize cards remaining. Your opponent shuffles their hand and puts it on the bottom of their decks. If they put any cards on the bottom of their deck in this way, they draw 3 cards. And a Claydol. Devolution Ray. If your opponent's active Pokemon is an evolved Pokemon, devolve it. Oh, wow. But your opponent gets to put it into their hand. That's an interesting scenario. Because what if... I would assume... So this attack does 50 damage. What if you devolve the Pokemon to a stage that has less than 50 HP left? It should knock it out, I would think. Interesting. All right, a reverse hollow Wimpod. Reverse hollow Bergmite. Again, some more Z to A artwork. This guy's hanging out near a shop, it looks like. All right, and a hollow Chestnut. Let's see. Ability is Needly Armor. If this Pokemon is in the active spot and is damaged by an attack from your opponent's Pokemon, place 3 damage counters on the attacking Pokemon for each grass energy attached to this Pokemon. Wow, so if you have 3 energy attached like your attack's going to do, that's going to do 90 damage. Wow, that's really powerful. Impound does 160 damage. During your opponent's next turn, the defending Pokemon can't retreat. Strong card here in Chestnut. By the way, looking at this Bergmite again, the Avalugg, the Alpha Avalugg that you can get in Z to A is massive. Those things are so big. It's really cool. I feel I am partial to ice Pokemon. This has Greninja artwork. He is upside down. Okay. Dark Energy. Vulpix. And I just watched in the Indigo League anime where Brock gets his Vulpix. Such a good episode. Weedle, standing next to Prism Tower. I found a shiny Beedrill in Z to A. Very cool. He's got a green color instead of his yellow. Sliggoo, hanging out in the rain. You need rain to evolve a Sliggoo. Quillfish has an ability of Poison Point. If this Pokemon is in the active spot and is damaged by an attack, the attacking Pokemon is now poisoned. Or Venoshock, if your opponent's active Pokemon is poisoned, this attack does 50 more damage. Quillfish is a highly poisonous Pokemon. All of its cards do a ton of poison damage. Alright, Meowstic. And I believe this is the male version of Meowstic. Evolves from Esper. Another special red card. Garbodor. Go with my Trubbish I pulled. Ability of Gloomy Garbage. Attacks used by your opponent's active Pokemon that has a Pokemon tool attached do 20 less damage. Okay. Or Sludge Bomb for a straight 100. Not bad. Nice. Reverse Hollow Deoxys. Look at that. Psi Speed does 30 damage. You may draw cards until you have 5 cards in your hand. So I'm guessing this is Deoxys's speed form. Cool. Don't see Deoxys a whole lot. Yes, all right. Special illustration, Crobat. I love Crobat. One of my favorites. Let's see. Has an ability, Nighttime Maneuvers. Once during your turn, if this Pokemon is in the active spot, you may use this ability. Search your deck for a card, shuffle your deck, and put the card on top of it. Poison Sound Wave for 80 damage. Your opponent's active Pokemon is now confused and poisoned. Ah, such a cool card. Yeah, Crobat's one of my favorites for sure. I think it might be because I remember trying to get a Crobat in the older games. Just the amount of time I had to put into it to get him. I got attached because you have to have high friendship to evolve from a Golbat. Sweet. And lastly, we have a Holo Xerneas. Geostorm. This attack does 30 damage for each psychic energy attached to all of your Pokemon. I just caught Xerneas in Z-A. Alright, we have one more pack here to open. Has a Mega Floette on the cover. The one and only Mega Floette. Electric Energy. Another Vulpix. Appropriate for a Charmeleon promo pack. Remoraid. I feel like that's a pretty classic artwork. Another Sliggoo. Emolga. Flying around. You can see the wild zone, the green in the fence line is the wild zones in Z-A. Delibird. Philippe. I like Philippe in Z-A. He's a cool character. Supporter card. Attach up to 2 basic metal energy cards from your discard pile to one of your metal Pokemon. I have trouble saying this name. Golisopod. I think I got it. So that'll evolve from that Wimpod I got earlier. Let's see. Boundless Power does 150 damage. But of course, during your next turn, this Pokemon can't use attacks. Critical Slash is interesting. If your opponent's Pokemon is knocked out by damage from this attack, during your opponent's next turn, prevent all damage and effects of attacks done to this Pokemon. So make sure you're always reading cards when you're playing, when you're battling, because in this case, if your opponent only has 30 HP, you're going to want to use Critical Slash instead of Boundless Power. So don't just willy-nilly it and use the stronger one. Reverse Holo Gloomy. Goomy, excuse me. Reverse Holo Metang. Metagross is one of my favorites too. Sweet! A Mega Greninja EX. Check it out. Very cool. Let's see. Ability is Mortal Shuriken. I can't say that word either. Shuriken. We'll go with the first pronunciation. Shuriken. Once during your turn, if this Pokemon is in the active spot, you may discard a basic water energy card from your hand in order to use this ability. Place 6 damage counters on one of your opponent's Pokemon. So you can hit the bench with that. Ninja Spinner does 120 plus damage. You may put a water energy attached to this Pokemon into your hand and have this attack do 80 more damage. Okay, so 200 damage potential there. Plus, if you add on the 6 damage counters you can use for the ability it's got, that could be 260 damage with 350 HP. Now keep in mind, if you play a Mega EX card such as this one, your opponent will take 3 prize cards if they're able to knock it out. And something else to note, this is a stage 2 Pokemon, so you are going to need the earlier stages to be able to evolve into this Greninja, but still such a good, cool looking card. Nice. Alrighty, so we have a special illustration, a Greninja, Mega Greninja EX, and of course the promo Charmeleon. Good polls. Thanks so much for watching.